version of this movie. Shh. No, I know we're not supposed to talk during the movie, but I just need to know what you think.
Hey, stop talking during the movie.
Do you think anybody's going to notice that these are actually solar eclipse glasses?
Hey, don't be giving away all our secrets.
I can't see a blessed thing. Let's do this.
Welcome back. This is episode 17 of the David and Hillary Show, and today we are going to talk about our top 20 movies of 2024.
I truly cannot see a single thing through these glasses, at all.
We said we were going to take them off.
Oh,
Yeah, we're done. Take them off.
you're done with the glasses?
Done with the glasses.
Okay.
Until the next solar eclipse.
I always like when I can see what I'm doing.
That's right. Me too.
All right. Well, why our top movies of 2024? Well, we love movies, and we've mentioned it before on the podcast, but if you're new to the podcast, we also do movie reviews. And up until now, we've broken them down into 2 reviews for every movie. The first one we call a preview, which is us telling you just enough about the movie that you would be able to say, that's interesting. I think I would want to watch that, or no, that's not really my thing. We give content warnings, that kind of thing, but no spoilers. In the post view, we love movies, and so it's really fun for us to really dig into the issues and talk about, this scene or that scene. How does that connect to something that's happening in real life, in the real world, or whatever? But lots of spoilers. So what we have learned is that we are super busy with our real job, and it's getting harder and harder, even when we do have time to go see a movie, to do the preview and the post view. And the post views take the longest amount of time to figure out what we're going to say, and then even to record them. And so I think going forward, we're going to mostly do previews just so that we don't not do them. And we figure also those are probably the most valuable, that people want to say, like, I was thinking about seeing that, but I'm on the fence. Let's watch David and Hillary and see what they have to say about it. At least that's what we hope people are going to be doing, and maybe have been doing. And so that got us to thinking, though, we saw a lot of movies in 2024. We didn't start doing the all the recording with the podcast or the movie previews, post views until January 2025. And so we just thought this would be a fun opportunity here in May of 2025 to look back, and of all the movies we saw, what were our top 20 favorites? And so we're going to do a countdown.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of different genres.
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 Just pretend you're French.
Some language or scenes we necessarily did not like. We don't come out of every movie thinking, we loved every single part of that movie.
Right.
But we are usually looking for a great story, a great theme, overall message, a great script, great acting, or great cinematography. And so, there's our disclaimer.
Right.
Some of the movies we watched, we did not enjoy every part of them. Some of them I watched like this. But, Yeah, but some of the movies we loved every part of it, and some we just thought, man, that story's really great. It made a great point, or it was just really artfully done, or whatever. And so, so sometimes we like movies and say, hey, check that out. If, here's the content warnings, and then you decide. Yeah.
So
these are all movies that we liked, and now we will tell you why.
That's right. We're doing the top 20, but we're also throwing in a couple honorable mentions. And so we're going to start with one of those.
We had a hard time getting this list.
We're going to hang on until the end. I mean, you want to know what our number 1 movie was, but we're also going to tell you at the end how many times we went. We're just going to tell you how many unique movies we saw in the theater in 2024. You may be surprised. And that's not even the number of times we went, because some of them we went and saw multiple times.
That's right.
We have a membership with our local theater. It makes it very affordable, and we love movies, obviously. So, well, let's start with this one, The Fire Inside. That movie's rated PG-13 for some strong language, thematic elements, and brief, suggestive language. And I just want to throw out there, too, if anybody's confused by thematic elements, because that is in a lot. We wrote down what the Motion Picture Association of America that does the ratings, what they said it was rated and why. And so you're going to hear thematic elements a lot. And that's just when they don't want to give you spoilers of what's in the movie or whatever. But when you see PG-13 for thematic elements, it means people under 13 may not be able to handle the themes that are in the movie. And it just may be discussions. It might not be swear words or whatever, but there's things in there you might not want to have to explain to the kids. And sometimes PG will have also thematic elements, and it means the same thing.
Yep.
But you gotta kind of, when it says PG-13 for strong language, that's different than rated R for strong language. And of course, you have to be able to interpret that. So anyway, back to the movie, The Fire Inside. This movie shows the struggles of Clarissa Shields, who is a high school student from Flint, Michigan, who works really hard to make the Olympic women's boxing team. She then finds out that life as a champion, even when you've accomplished great things, is not always all that she thought it would be. This movie's heartfelt. It's compelling. Parts of it are sad. Parts of it are victorious. But it's a really well-told story, and I think that it's worth your time.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I was more interested in this one. I grew up about 20 miles outside Flint.
Yep.
And I thought, wow, this is a real person with an incredible story. I just wanted to check it out.
Right.
Good story. Mm-hmm. All right, number 20 on our list is Gladiator 2, rated R for strong, bloody violence. Technically, this was a sequel, but it has a similar overall storyline to the original. But we liked the creativity, the boats, the sharks, the rhinos, etc. Really, really great CGI. And the politics and the maneuvering were compelling. Denzel Washington was amazing. I did not like some of the violence in this, but I was willing to, again, do the old filter. Okay, I think that's coming. Yep. Because I loved Gladiator 1, and I really wanted to see the sequel. So that was number 20.
Yeah. We never go to the movies hoping for more violence.
No.
We're there for the story.
Yeah.
All right. Movie number 19, Juror Number 2. This movie was PG-13 for some violent images and strong language. This movie is a moral dilemma that watches like a thriller. The main character in the movie is picked for jury duty and then realizes that he's connected to this crime. And what do? He wants to do the right thing, but if he does one thing, there's going to be consequences. If he does a different thing, there's going to be consequences. And it is very compelling, edge of your seat. It's a thriller, even though there aren't people chasing each other with knives. But it's a good conversation starter. What would you do if you found yourself in this situation? The movie's directed by Clint Eastwood, and I have learned through the years that any project that he's connected with is usually really well done, and this is a great story.
Yeah. All right, number 18, White Bird, rated PG for some strong violence, thematic material, and language. Technically, this is a prequel to the 2017 movie Wonder, but if you don't have to know that movie to enjoy this one. Mm-mm. So it's a story of bullying and friendship. It's a fictional story set in Nazi-occupied France, but it is a beautiful movie set in a horrible time. It's so artfully done.
Yeah,
really highly recommend it. If you're able to handle the PG-13 violence and language. So
yeah, sometimes I think, do we need any more movies about the Nazis? Not, just there are so many.
And they're hard stories.
I'm not making a political statement about World War II and all of that is real and all of it. But if you have thought that, check this one out. I really agree with what she said. It's a beautiful movie set in a horrible time.
Number 17 is Unsung Hero. This is rated PG, again, for thematic elements. This is the story of how the family of Christian music artists Rebecca St. James and Joel and Luke Smallbone moved to America from Australia. See how faith, humility, and tenacity got them through some really tough times before the musical success kicked in.
Right.
And Christian movies are getting better. And
Yeah.
this one, I mean, this was not an honorable mention. This made the top 20 list.
Yep.
It was compelling and well done. Good job.
Yeah, for sure. So number 16 was the movie If, which IF stands for Imaginary Friend, if you didn't know. It's rated PG for thematic elements, there you go, and mild language. This is really a charming story. It's a story of imagination dealing with a range of emotions, including grief, surprise, popcorn, anxiety, compassion, and joy. There's mystery and mirth, sadness, and an exploration of growing up or not. There are laugh out loud scenes and some really poignant moments. Kaylee Fleming, who plays Bee, the young girl in the movie, is really, really good in this. This is a good film appropriate for all ages. And you'll see in our top 20, we have movies that there's one coming up. You may be surprised that we even included it. And then If, I think you could have just about anybody watch.
Yeah.
So we've kind of run the whole gamut.
Yep. I mean, really, as long as the movie's well done, we like it.
Yeah.
We like a lot of them. So this is another honorable mention, not technically in the top 20, but we really liked it. Ordinary Angels was rated PG for thematic content, brief, bloody images, and smoking. Inspired by a true story, Hilary Swank plays Sharon, a hairdresser who rallies an entire community to help save a young girl's life who desperately needs a kidney transplant. The girl's father, Ed, played by Alan Ritchson, isn't sure what to make of this unsolicited help or the hairdresser offering it. This movie is about honor, humility, compassion, and doing the right thing, especially when it's not easy. It's another family-friendly movie that's really well done.
Yeah. That one's a little more intense than If, but it is a family-friendly movie. And as you said, very well done.
Well, and having worked with hairdressers, shout out to you, you know who you are. I could see so many of them stepping in to do this. They just are so caring.
Caring and compassionate.
They are.
Yep.
They are. So this one was very easy to believe that she would do this.
Yeah. Breaking into the top 15. The next movie that we loved in 2024 is Cabrini. Excuse me. The pollen is really bad right now in Middle Tennessee.
It's so bad.
Cabrini was rated PG-13 for, guess what? Thematic material, some violence, language, and smoking. It's inspired by the true story of Francesca Cabrini, a prominent Italian-American religious sister in the Roman Catholic Church. After witnessing disease and poverty in the slums of New York, she does what she can to help those in need, but she discovers it's a lot harder than she thought it would be, and the local government is really not helping very much. So she goes all the way to the mayor's office to try and persuade him to join in her mission. Mother Cabrini was the first American to be recognized by the Vatican as a saint, and we're not Catholic, but I thought that was cool. This movie is hard to watch at times just because of the horrible conditions that people were allowed to live in and how nobody really seemed to care.
Right.
But her work is very inspiring, and the, kind of working through all of that, humans being bad to humans, it's worth it to see what she did in that situation.
Yeah, it was good. Good movie.
Number 14. The Young Woman and the Sea.
No. Technically just Young Woman and the Sea.
Young Woman and the Sea.
I only bring this up because I can never say this title right. Finally, I was just like, The Girl in the Water. Whatever. The one where she swam a lot. I love this movie, but I can never remember the title.
I wrote most of these notes and we went through it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I did not realize that number 14 and number 13, I didn't put the rating.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure this was PG or PG-13.
You talk, I'll look them up. Go ahead.
Okay. And it was not a movie with a lot of content that you wouldn't want to watch. So, but Young Woman and the Sea is the inspiring true story of Trudy Ederle, played by Daisy Ridley, who was the first woman to successfully swim the English Channel. This film documents her love of swimming and the obstacles that she overcame in order to eventually succeed at a very high level. It's an engaging story with many ups and downs, and Ridley's acting is top-notch in this. It's set in the early 1900s. I didn't write that down either. 1920s maybe. So it's kind of a fun, nostalgic movie in a way, and yeah, really good. So what was the rating?
The rating is PG, and it was based, I think, in 1914.
Oh, 1914.
Yep, starts in 1914.
Okay.
So, all right. And you are, I'm the next one. So I won't be able to look it up and talk, but I'll look it up when you do One Life. So,
all right.
All right, number 13. The Boys in the Boat. This is another film about young people and water. We liked that a lot, apparently.
Based on actual events.
Based on actual events. I love true stories. It's inspiring to see what people do.
I can't eat that popcorn. I have no water.
I know.
We came into this very prepared.
I know.
And completely unprepared.
That's our life, basically. All right, so this one was set in the 1930s. And tells the story of the University of Washington's rowing team, which starts from humble beginnings and surprises everyone by making it into the Olympics.
Yeah.
An inspiring movie that is worth your time.
That's right. I think that one was PG, but you can look it up.
All right, I'll look it up.
All right. While she's doing that, we will keep moving. Movie number 12 on our top 20 movies of 2024 list. Number 12, the movie One Life. This movie was rated PG for thematic material, smoking, and some language. This is the true story of Nicholas Winton, played by Anthony Hopkins, played very well by Anthony Hopkins, as you can imagine. He was a young London broker who visited Prague in December of 1938. He found families who had fled the Nazis from Germany and Austria, but were living in poverty with almost no one willing to help them. He eventually rescued well over 600 people, predominantly Jewish children, before the borders were locked down in Czechoslovakia. He spent the next 50 years, if you can imagine, he rescued over 600 people, and he spent the next 50 years haunted by the fact that he wasn't able to do more. I mean,
wow.
But,
yeah.
Yeah. Then in 1988, he finds himself in a surprise meeting with some of the children, now adults, of course, that he had helped to survive the Holocaust. I promise you this movie is worth your time.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. So Boys in the Boat, PG-13. Yeah. I can't remember. Probably thematic elements.
Were they yelling at each other in the boat or something? I don't remember that part.
I don't know.
Okay, so PG-13.
All right.
And One Life was PG. And now we're down to number 11, Hillary.
Number 11, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I know you're laughing at me, but he made me do this one because he knows I love the Planet of the Apes.
You grew up loving the Planet of the Apes. I saw one of these in the early 70s on black and white TV after my parents went to bed. I was not old enough to stay up and watch that, and the whole thing really kind of freaked me out.
Oh, I still remember watching that first movie, and you don't know, you think they're on another planet. The whole movie, you don't know where they are, and this incredible story is happening. And what would happen if the apes were in charge and the people were like the animals? And I'm watching this whole movie, and then at the end they come around the beach, and then they see the Statue of Liberty sunk in the sand. It's like dun dun dun.
What?
Young Hillary
Planet
was
Earth.
Her mind was just blown by that. All right, so this is PG-13 for intense sequences of sci-fi violence and action. This movie is also based on a true story. No, I'm just kidding. My favorite thing about this movie is the special effects, or whatever you want to call it. The movie it's full of apes, and each ape, at least the prominent ones, is a combination of human body actors, CGI, and voice actors.
Right.
And this is, in our opinion, the best work that we've seen combining all these elements and making it believable.
It was really good.
It was
the special effects were really,
so
really
well
good.
done. The story is interesting too. And Freya Allen as May put on a good performance. There's a lot of acting against stand-ins that's very convincing.
Yeah.
It was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. All right. Well, that is half of the top 20. It's a good time to put in another honorable mention. This movie was called American Fiction, rated R for language throughout, some drug use, sexual references, and brief violence. This is the one I was talking about that you might be surprised that we included it. This movie is seemingly way out of our lane of what we usually do. There's a range of what we will watch, and this is outside of that usual range. But when we saw the trailers, we were curious enough to watch it, and honest enough after we saw it to include it as one of the movies that we really liked in 2024. Even though it was honorable mention, again, we're going to tell you at the end how many movies we saw. This one didn't make the top 20, but it made honorable mention. If you're considering watching it, look it up on a site like Kids in Mind, because they give very specific content warnings, and then you can decide for yourself if you think, well, yeah, I can handle that or not or whatever. But what we liked about it was the overall message, which is basically, how much of your true self will you compromise to gain fame and fortune or to make other people happy? In this movie, the discussion is set in Black culture, but those basic self-examining questions really apply to everyone. And if you can't wade through the language and some of the content, we get it. But if you think you can, the acting is very good, and the crux of the plot of this movie is very, very good. So, American Fiction.
All right. Hey, it's still you.
It is still me.
I got time to eat popcorn, so
I mean,
number 10.
I don't know where you're going to get the water from.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I just got to step back so they don't hear me chewing. Go ahead. I'm just going to relax.
Okay. We're making this up as we go. Movie number 10, breaking into the top 10 of our top 20 movies of 2024, is the movie Trap. Trap is rated PG-13 for some violent content and brief, strong language. Here's another one that we almost didn't watch because we thought that it was going to be horror. When we saw the trailers, it's actually an edge-of-your-seat thriller. The main character is a serial killer, and the point of the movie is not to show grotesque serial killings, but the point of the movie is to catch him and to stop him. With that in mind, this easily could have been made differently as a rated R movie, but it wasn't. It's accurately rated as PG-13. It's one of the best thrillers that I've ever seen. Lots of twists, really keeps you guessing, and if you like thrillers, you're going to like this one. Also, what I thought was really interesting, I looked all this up afterward, a completely separate element of the movie is that director M. Night Shyamalan cast his daughter, Salika Shyamalan, as the pop star in the movie, and someone wrote original songs for her to sing.
Yeah.
These are not covers, these are original songs. She does a great job singing and being a pop star and also acting. I was really impressed with her performance. All of that kind of interwoven into the whole thriller thing. Yeah. This is a very good movie.
Well, when we would sit and, you see these trailers pop up, every time I would see the trailer for this, I'd think, nope. Sometimes we look at each other after the trailer. I'm like, not watching that one. But when it actually came out, and then we could kind of read like what it was rated R or rated PG-13 for, and we're like, I think we can handle this. Like, this kind of seems like it's in our lane.
We assumed it was going to be rated R, and so that was the first thing that caught our attention.
A 13-year-old could watch this? I might be able to watch this.
Well, here's our method. Here's our method. If we see a trailer, and we will go to IMDb and see what it's rated and see what it's rated that for. Mm-hmm. If it says rated R for sex and nudity, we're not watching that movie. But then we have different lines at different places, and I guess everyone draws those lines at their own places. But we don't want to know a lot about the movie. We don't like it when the trailer gives away a lot of the movie. We want it to pique our interest to say, we want to see that. But we don't want you to tell us everything. And when we go to read about it, we're not trying to read 27 reviews written by other people. We want to be surprised. So,
but not so surprised that we're like, oh, I didn't want to see that.
But when we're on the fence, like I can't tell. I don't want to sit through something awful, and I don't want to get up and leave if I can help it.
Right.
So when we're not sure, then we'll do a little extra research. And so with Trap, we read a little bit more about it, and we were like, I think we can handle this. And then we watched, and we were like, that was a really good movie.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Still you.
Number 9, Harold and the Purple Crayon. This was PG for mild action and thematic elements. And you're probably thinking, why would you even go and see that? Look, man, I remember this book, Harold and the Purple Crayon, from when I was a kid. And I always liked the whimsy of it. I guess kind of the idea that of being an artist and being able to draw something and have it come to life was just really captivating. And I think part of why this movie wasn't a bigger hit is because the adults who reviewed it probably didn't get it. It's interesting that people who review art often aren't artists and don't think like artists.
Yep.
This movie's a little unrealistic and it's kind of all over the place, but it's very imaginative. It's a fun ride. And I also really like the fact that Harold always wants to do the right thing, even when the people around him don't. So, we have 5 kids. They're grown now. We have 6 grandkids. So, I will say a movie made for kids is not necessarily my favorite genre, just for me to say like, hey, let's just go have fun and go watch a movie. But I've grown to really appreciate family-friendly movies, and this is a good one. It's a good family-friendly movie, and I think creative adults will like it too.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, I like to see the kid movies because as a mom and a former preschool teacher, I like to know what are they creating for children.
Yeah.
So I like to keep tabs on it.
Yep.
Number 8 is the best Christmas pageant ever.
The best.
PG for thematic material and brief underage smoking. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. This movie is a remake of the original from 1983, which starred Loretta Swit from MASH. That movie was based on the book by Barbara Robinson from 1972. And we love this story because it's a lot of fun, but there's some really great theological conflict in there. When the least behaved and even somewhat scary kids show up in church, what do the previously comfortable Christians do? I like this version even more than the one from 83. I think it's really well done all the way around. Script, acting, directing. If you haven't seen it, put it on your list. It's enjoyable and also challenging. If it's not back in theaters this Christmas, don't worry. You can already stream it.
Yeah. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but when we mentioned earlier that Christian movies are getting better, a lot of Christian movies have good points, but just historically haven't been great art compared to other movies. Usually they don't have as much money spent on them and all of that. I really liked the best Christmas pageant ever. And I kind of, like I said, like you said, I had seen the earlier one and kind of knew the story. I mean, I just thought they told the story really well. I thought the kid actors were great.
They were so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, this movie earned the spot number 8. It wasn't an honorable mention again.
Right.
Really well done.
All right. Number 7, Exhibiting Forgiveness. This movie was rated R for language and brief drug material. So again, here you go. We got quite a range of movies that we watched.
I mean, the best Christmas pageant ever had smoking. So I'm just saying.
So this one's kind of on the other end of, content, but in Exhibiting Forgiveness, we follow Terrell, played by Andre Holland, as he navigates the complexities of having his estranged father back in his life. Why did certain things happen in the past? Are you different now? Should we talk it through? Can we talk it through? Should we even try to be in each other's lives? All while a lot of other real life stuff is going on. This movie is painful in many places, but it also deals with a difficult subject in a mature yet realistic manner that seeks to find a path to forgiveness. Really, really well done. And, maybe not everybody who comes from a conservative Christian background feels this way, but sometimes watching people have really candid conversations that aren't rated PG just adds to the reality. And I just thought it was really well done. Terrell also is an artist, and I like that his art is part of the story. It's part of the story of the movie. It's part of his story as a character. And if you're triggered by family drama, maybe this movie's not for you. But if you can handle that, and if you can handle the rated R language, this movie is very well done. And it also opens up a lot of opportunities to have discussions afterward. So we liked it enough for it to be our number 7 movie of 2024, Exhibiting Forgiveness.
Yep. Yeah, every time I saw, when we were working on getting the posters for all these pictures that we are going to post, every time I would see a movie poster, I'd think, I want to see that one again.
Yeah.
Every one of them. And this one included. It's just, even the hard ones to watch, they were just well done.
Yeah. Some of them almost made me want to cry just looking at the poster.
Right.
Because I remember like all the emotions that were in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 6. Here we go. This one is Land of Bad. This is rated R for strong, bloody violence and language throughout. And this is a war story. It's, well, not of a war exactly, but of a small military team and their remote support team that set out to rescue a spy who's been captured by warlords in the South Pacific. Now, there's a lot of rated R language and war violence, but the story is about the team doing anything and everything, both on the ground and remotely, to finish their mission. The story is compelling, and Russell Crowe and Chika Igagwe as the remote support team are very convincing. You'll probably think that David picked this one, but it was one of my favorite movies of the year, which shocked you, I think.
Yeah.
We saw it twice in the theaters.
Yeah, we did.
But, I can look past the language and the violence because of the theme. Like, it's a war movie. I don't really expect soldiers out there just, golly darn, my friend just got blown up.
Right.
So I understand the context of what's happening, but I loved the contrast between what was happening at the actual site where the violence was taking place versus the remote location where they were coordinating the team.
Yeah.
That in itself to me just spoke so deeply. I don't want to give too much of that away, but we recommend it. That was number 6.
Really, really good.
Yeah. And we're going to slip in another honorable mention right now. This was one of my favorites. I think I liked this more than you did. But the movie Thelma. And maybe I liked it right away, first of all, because we have an Aunt Thelma and we love her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rated PG for strong language.
PG-13.
Oh, sorry. PG-13.
A little bit stronger.
A little bit stronger. 93-year-old Thelma gets duped by a scammer on a phone call. Thelma gets so upset when she realizes what has happened that she goes on a quest to get her money back and bring the perp to justice. The movie is mostly fun and funny, but has a couple more serious and even scary moments. Overall, it's a fun ride. Thelma is expertly played by June Squibb, who was 94 during filming of this movie and did most of her own stunts. There's just so much that I just love about this movie.
Yeah.
I do. And I think it is just unthinkable that people are actually out there trying to scam the elderly.
Right. Right.
That is true. And that's horrible. I think I just love that Thelma decides to,
Right.
get involved.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
It's maybe not my top favorite style of humor, but it is funny, and yeah, it's good. Don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, put it on your list. All right, here we go. Breaking into the top 5.
That was weird. That was better.
That was fine.
Okay.
I was getting ready to talk.
Okay. Sorry.
Wait, let's do it again. Breaking into the top 5. Wicked. Wicked was rated PG for some scary action, thematic material, and brief suggestive material. We have a lot of family and friends who have seen Wicked, the play, some of them even on Broadway, but we had not. We had just heard people say, it's great, it's great, it's great. But all we knew about it was that it was the prequel to The Wizard of Oz. And I got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of musicals, and just even the title, Wicked, like I assumed it was going to glorify the Wicked Witch, and it was going to, I just had all these ideas of things that I wouldn't agree with, and I expected to hate it. But it was promoted so heavily that every movie we went to was like, trailer for Wicked, you have to see this movie, you don't want to miss it. And finally I was like, let's just go see it. And then we loved it.
I still remember the first time. We saw it multiple times.
Yep.
The first time we saw it, we got done and we both looked at each other like, I think I really liked that. Like, yeah.
I think I did too. I mean, look, the story was engaging. It was not really what I thought it was going to be. It was entertaining. The music was fun.
Yeah.
Made you want to sing along. They have, if you haven't seen it, I saw they're having another one now. It's been months since it's been out in the theater. Sing along to Wicked. Because you're actually not supposed to sing along out loud in the theater unless it's a sing along version. I was kind of reading up on the protocols and expectations of that, if you don't know. So, be kind to other people in the theater. They didn't come to hear you sing unless it's a sing along version, and then knock yourself out. But yeah, it's fun. The acting was very good. We saw it in theaters 3 times, I think. And it actually was only part 1 of the story, and we'll be going back for part 2 later this year.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah. When we got done, we found I didn't even know it was going to be just part 1. And we found out it was just part 1. And I thought, how long do I have to wait? But it'll be back soon. Yeah. All right. I'll say number 4 and then you do a little.
Okay.
All right. Number 4. Oh, yours was better. A Quiet Place, Day 1. This is rated PG-13 for terror and violent content, bloody images.
Which makes it sound worse than it was.
I know. I'm like, wow, why do we see these things? That sounds horrible. We weren't going to see the original A Quiet Place because we thought it was horror. We don't watch horror movies.
That was, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, but it's not. It's a monster movie. In the same way that Jurassic Park has some scary scenes, but at its core, it's a monster movie with a great story.
Right.
Again, this is one of my favorites. A Quiet Place Day 1 is a great movie which shows us that we're all in this life together, and we should be trying to help each other fight against our common enemies rather than fighting each other.
Yeah.
If you like thrillers and you don't mind a good monster, this really is a great movie.
It really is. I was surprised how much I liked the first one, and then the second one was pretty good. It was kind of like what comes next after that. And when I saw that there was a third one coming out, I was like, okay, you guys have kind of exhausted it, I think. Like, nope. I don't know how many times we need to see this. It really surprised me. It's a monster movie, but so much of it is about the relationships between the characters that aren't monsters. And if you saw A Quiet Place and you haven't seen this one, it's not any of the same characters. It's like a completely separate thing. But if you know that going in and you're not like, well, when does so-and-so come in? Yeah, they're not in it. But it's okay because it's just a great standalone movie that kind of tells you how the whole alien monsters coming to Earth happened, but then what it's really about is the human characters that they introduce you to. It's really well done.
And I would say, again, I was not going to watch A Quiet Place when it first came out. I thought, I don't do horror movies. We're not watching this. And I can't remember, I think it was one of our children talked me into it. But once I watched it, I realized it's not about the horror. It's not really about the monster. It is about the family. And if you ever get a chance to watch A Quiet Place with the bonus features, watch the bonus features. You'll just love it. You get to learn about the cast. It's so good. Of course, that's different than this one, but it kind of sets it all up. And it's kind of how I fell in love with the whole what's the word? Like the trilogy.
The trilogy.
Oh, it's me again. All right.
You again.
Number 3, Twisters. This is rated PG-13 for intense action and peril, some language, and injury images. Not truly a sequel not truly a sequel to or a retelling of the 1996 movie Twister. This movie is an engaging mix of friendship, personal growth, working through trauma, trust, bravado, weather technology, and scenes of crazy tornadoes. What's not to like? We felt the cast had great chemistry, and it was a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And girlfriend over here surprises me. Well, not as much anymore, but she's the one that wants to watch the monster movies, and she's the one that wants to watch the natural disaster movies.
Yeah. Well, you know, when the tree fell on the house, I think that was a good indication.
In real life. On our
house.
house. Yeah.
And I had been outside just a couple minutes later, or minutes before, just looking at the sky. I love weather. I do love it. So, yeah.
But we agreed. Twisters was really, really well done. The story, the special effects was well done, but the story was good too.
Yep. It was good.
All right. We're getting close. Number 2, our second favorite movie of 2024 was Fly Me to the Moon. PG-13 for some strong language and smoking. So here's the setup. For years, some people have questioned whether or not we really went to the moon in 1969. Did we go, or was it faked? That's the premise of this film that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's less about truly answering that question and more about telling a fun story with humor, romance, a little suspense, a little action, some poignant moments, and a lot of fun. Look, Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum are great in this, with really solid performances added in by Woody Harrelson and Ray Romano. It's 2024's second best movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
Yeah. We've also watched this one several times.
Yes.
And streamed it at home. So, all right, we're going to do one more honorable mention before we get to number 1.
I'm just heightening the suspense.
I know. So exciting. All right, so our honorable mention is Lost on a Mountain in Maine. Rated PG for thematic elements, peril, language, and some injury images. Which I don't like. But
PG injury images.
PG, yeah.
Yeah.
When we saw that this movie was produced by Sylvester Stallone, we couldn't believe it was rated PG. I'm like, is this what's happening? We were expecting something along the lines of Rambo, where he sews up his own arm with no pain meds, but not so much. So this is based on the true story of 12-year-old Don Fendler, who in the summer of 1939 goes hiking in the mountains with his father and brothers, but gets lost in the fog. And he has to survive for several days.
Yeah.
It's not only a story of surviving the elements and wild animals with no food or shelter, it's also a study of relationships and what's really important. Even though it's only PG, it's really not made for young children. It's inspiring, and it also includes clips from the family recorded years after the event. Luke David Blum is really good as the protagonist.
Yeah, especially for a young guy playing a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yep, it was a good movie.
That was surprisingly good. We went because we needed a movie to watch, and I thought, I'm somewhat intrigued by this, but I can't imagine it's going to be awesome. It was very good.
Yeah.
It was very good. Not in the top 20, but honorable mention. for 2024. And now,
we should say it together. Ready?
Well,
on the count of 3.
Hang on.
Okay.
The number one movie in David and Hillary's countdown of the top 20 movies of 2024. The Fall Guy.
Wow, that was good.
That was one take. PG-13 for action and violence, drug content, and some strong language. This movie is loosely based on the TV show from the 1980s and is a tribute to the stunt men and women who had the thankless job of making the craziest scenes in our favorite movies somehow believable.
The Fall Guy has it all. Drama, action, romance, suspense, mystery, fight scenes, humor, explosions, and over-the-top stunts.
Yes.
The story is fun. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are really good. The comic timing is spot on, and the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, totally. So, we saw this movie 4 times in the theater.
Yeah.
We just grabbed people and said, you have to go watch this with us. You're our friend. We love this movie. Let's go with us. Let's go have fun. We've streamed it at home with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our pick for the best movie of 2024. And if you haven't seen it, you should probably just go ahead and stream it tonight.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm just guessing that some people said, how do you even see 20 movies in the theater in a year? We do have a membership, as we mentioned, with our local chain of theaters. I sure wish they'd pay us to advertise them. I'd be more happy to tell you the name. But check in with your local theater and see if they have any kind of membership deal. We pay about $25 a month per person to see up to 4 movies a week. Are you kidding me? 16 movies a month if we want to, and we don't see that many, but we go a lot. And if you can be disciplined enough not to buy the popcorn and the soda, then you're really crushing it on your entertainment budget. We definitely still buy the snacks sometimes. But we went to... Did you have a guess before we went actually through our files and counted?
I don't think I did. I didn't really stop to...
The question is
estimate it.
How many unique movies did we see in the theater in 2024? The answer is 80.
Yeah.
We saw 80 unique movies, and some of them we saw more than once. So we went to the theater more than 80 times in 12 months.
I think our kids believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're always asking them, hey, you remember that we have that membership, right? Well, we just saw this cool movie, and they just roll their eyes. It's great. But well, thank you for joining us. If you love movies, hopefully we gave you some good ideas of some to check out. We will continue to watch movies and do our previews, which are generally 5 to 7 minutes long. So you can say, hey, let's see if David and Hillary have a preview of this movie on their YouTube channel in the preview playlist. And we can see if maybe this is a movie that we'd want to go see. So we hope that you'll do that. We thank you for joining us, and we expect next week to kind of return to some other topic that's more like what we generally do in our podcast. But we love movies, so it made sense for us to do this as well. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a movie coming up on Thursday. So if you haven't seen, you might need to brush up a little bit. What was the part 1?
Dead Reckoning. Yeah. Mission Impossible 7. 7. Came out 2 years ago, and it was part 1 of the finale. So part 2 of the finale, apparently there aren't going to be any more Mission Impossible movies, at least not with Tom Cruise, is what they're telling us. And so we're going to see that this week, and we are really excited. We hope that it is one of the best movies of the year, because that's what we're expecting out of that franchise. They've always delivered. So
be looking for the preview.
Thank you for your time. We know it's valuable. We're David and Hillary. We sure appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time.
See ya.